Hi there. For the past several years, I've been doing this thing where I set very ambitious New Year's resolutions. I get very motivated to change my life, and the new year comes around. I spend a few weeks really trying my hardest, and then after that, everything falls apart, and I end up setting the same resolutions again the following year. However, in 2021, there's one goal that I actually did accomplish this year that really stuck out to me, and that was my resolution of publishing 100 new YouTube videos. And to my surprise, I actually surpassed this goal by a little bit. This averages out to be 2 new YouTube videos every single week. And I'm actually really happy that this one goal stuck throughout the entire year and I actually achieved it. In today's video, I'll be talking more about this 100 YouTube video goal and kind of applying it to other areas of my life. I want to transparently share what my goals are for next year in 2022. Hopefully talking about this in public will hold me a bit accountable and also share my process with other people who are also interested in making similar goals. Now, the first thing I want to do is analyze this video goal that I made for 100 new YouTube uploads this year and talk about why I think this succeeded. The reason why I think it worked out is because the goal I set was not about the outcome, it was about the input. My input is what I control. How much time and effort I put in every single week is the only thing I really have direct control over. I am not trying to control how many views the videos get. I am not trying to control how many subscribers I end up with at the end of the year. Those are goals that are kind of nice to have, but you have no control over the numbers you'll end up with. The number of 100 YouTube videos published is something that I directly control, and that's a big part of why I achieved that. Now, funny enough, if you focus on the inputs, those outcomes like subscribers and views end up naturally happening anyway. This year, my channel saw an incredible amount of view growth and subscriber growth, and it continues to happen right now even. And that is not because I'm focusing on those numbers, it's because I am simply focusing on putting in the work that will naturally result in those numbers. And another thing about this 100 YouTube video goal is it's easily measurable. I can easily track how many videos I've published throughout the entire year and make sure I know if I'm on track or not. So with that mindset being discussed now, let me talk about some of my goals for next year and how I'm applying this mindset of 100 YouTube videos published to other areas of my life. The first goal I want to talk about for next year is pretty ambitious, but I think I can do it. It's 500 hours of work logged in tracking for my side hustle work. Let me explain what that means. I've read from a lot of people in a lot of different books that the best way to be more productive is to track where you're spending your time. And I'm going to be using these 2 apps called Toggle and Timery in next year to track all my productive hours to see exactly where my time is being spent. Now, I don't plan on tracking every single hour of the day. That's a bit hard to do. What I want to do instead is simply log whenever I'm working on something. I want to track how many hours of work I'm putting into certain projects. So for me right now, my goal is to spend 500 hours next year working on my side hustle work as a digital creator. So I want to track 500 hours of productive work on YouTube stuff. That could include Twitter, my email newsletter. It could include filming YouTube videos. It could be building products that I want to launch next year. Whatever it might be, I want to log 500 hours of actual work into these different projects, and I want to end the year with that many hours logged into these apps. Now, I chose 500 hours very intentionally. That ends up being about 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday. So 10 hours a week times 50 weeks, give or take a little buffer there. You end up with 500 hours, and that is the number I am shooting for. That is something I control completely. I can definitely control how many hours of work I put in every single day. Just like my YouTube videos, this is very, very similar. The other reason why I chose this goal is because I don't want to worry about getting sucked into this decision-making vortex of not knowing what to work on. Oftentimes, I choose things to work on for many months ahead, and I get so upset with myself for choosing things because I want to work on something else now. And I end up choosing things very last minute, and I want to give myself flexibility. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter what I end up working on. I just want to focus on putting in the work. I don't want to spend hours and hours planning everything. I want to spend 500 hours working on certain things, and that is what I'll be tracking. I really want to focus on putting in the work, 500 hours of work, and then I'm hopefully seeing some outcomes from that as well. We'll have to see in 1 year. Like I mentioned with my 100 YouTube videos, that was very easy for me to track. With these two apps I'll be using, Toggle and Timery, on my phone, I have widgets set up where I can easily see how many hours have been tracked into these apps in a very clean way on my home screen. I have a widget for the entire year, I have a widget for the week that I'm currently in, and a widget for the current day progress. It's a very convenient way. As long as I'm actually remembering to track these hours, which I've been pretty good about so far. I've used these apps on and off throughout this year. I think I could be pretty good about it next year. It'll be really cool to see where I end up with at the end of the year, how many hours I'm putting into YouTube, how many hours I'm putting into email. I could really analyze my metrics and analytics to see where my time is being spent. Now, my next goal that I want to talk about is still in the realm of my content creator life, and that is simply publishing one tweet every single day and one newsletter every single week. And I'm taking this exactly from my goal this year of 100 YouTube videos, because on YouTube I wanted to grow my audience, and that worked out pretty well with my YouTube video goal. And now I want to focus on other platforms like Twitter and my email newsletter, because I want those platforms to grow and I want to have more community on those other platforms as well. And instead of focusing on numbers like how many followers I have on Twitter or how many people subscribe to my newsletter, I'm not going to worry about those numbers. What I am going to worry about though is putting in the work. I want to worry about how many tweets I'm publishing. I want to publish at least one tweet every single day. I'm going to schedule them in advance and make sure I do that. I've been very on and off about that this year. I want to kind of double down and be consistent about that next year. Same thing with my email newsletter. I haven't been very consistent about that. I do think if I double down and be consistent every single week, I will see natural growth occur. A quick plug for my email newsletter and my Twitter profile, links for both of those down below if you're interested. But moving on now to a completely different area of my life, I'm applying this mentality of taking a number and applying it to something in my physical health. I want to log 100 workouts in the next year in a workout app to go to the gym every single week. Now, getting physically fit has been on my New Year's resolutions for several years now. I always put it down and I always have this sudden burst of motivation at the start of the year. I've signed up for gyms in the past. I've gone to the gym a couple times here and there, but it's never stuck for more than a few weeks at a time. And it's always so frustrating because I always tell myself, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. It never gets anywhere. This year, I am changing my mentality. I'm not going to worry about going to the gym on a certain schedule or anything like that. All I'm going to worry about is scheduling 100 workouts into my workout app. I want to have those numbers tracked. I don't care how long I'm spending at the gym. I don't care what I'm doing at the gym. I don't even care if it's a gym. As long as it's a workout that I'm tracking, it's going to count. I want 100 workouts by the end of the year. Now, this goal is very important to me because in the past, I would focus on things like how many pounds I'm losing or my body fat percentage. And those numbers are nice to know, but in reality, they don't really help you lose weight or anything like that. The number you should be tracking is how often you're going to the gym. And again, I'm not going to try focusing on the schedule or how long I'm going to the gym for. I just want to focus on going 100 times during the year. It might not even be the gym. If I'm going for a run, that also counts as a workout. I just want to do 100 workouts for the entire year. I'm going to start by doing one workout a week for the beginning of the year. Then over the course of the year, I hope to increase that to 2 or 3 times every single week and build a routine. But to start, I'm going to start very, very small and just go once a week. And hopefully when the weather gets better up here in New York, I can start going for runs or things like that too. That's the goal right now. I really do hope, just like my goal for 100 videos published this year, I can apply that same mentality and gamify the process next year for this workout and my physical health. So to recap here, my top level goals right now for next year are 500 hours of side hustle work tracked in a time tracker app. The next one after that is one tweet published every single day, as well as one newsletter emailed out every single week. And then lastly, we have 100 workouts tracked for the entire year. I do have a few other personal goals that I'm not mentioning in this video, but they're all along the same lines of doing something like an activity of some kind a certain number of times for the entire year. That's the gamification process that I'm trying to follow right now, and I really hope it works. I would love to hear if you're trying something similar where you're gamifying your goals and having a certain number of things you're trying to track for the entire year. If you're comfortable sharing, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Also, if you enjoyed this video, you may enjoy my Q&A video I did recently when I hit 10,000 subscribers. Link for that on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.